Like, very possible. But who knows, man? We'll see.
いや、
Of course, after that, the New Year's party was cancelled. Yeah, yeah, yeah. After that, yeah. I knew Mayuri had really been looking forward to it, but none of us were up for partying after that. I told everyone I'd give them an explanation another day. For now, I decided to send them home for safety's sake. Good man. Everyone but the Tenojis walked with me to the station. Those who were taking the train home split up with us there, and the rest came with me to Yanabayashi Shrine. Daru, Suzuha, Lukako, and Kagari were the only ones left. Alright, I know we're in a drastic situation, but we got a Rhine message. Thank you? Got here safe, Nia. Thank you, thank you. What does that mean? Huh. Okay.
つけられてなかったか。
Oh, was Ferris just following up on when they sent her home, I guess?
大丈夫。ずっと注意してたけど、おかしな気配はなかった。
そうか。
Okay. Another Rhine message. In Ikebukuro. Okay, I think they're just following up on, like, when he sent them home, I guess. I hadn't seen anyone suspicious at Akihabara Station either. If they were CERN rounders, I would have expected to see them everywhere. I'd told the ones who'd taken the train to go straight home and contact me when they got there. Several of them already had. Okay. Okay. Mayushi made it home fine. Okay, nice. Good, good, good. They'd made it home just fine. Oh. I told Mayuri in particular to send me stickers on Rhine at regular intervals. Nice. She'd been doing that, so she was probably okay. But that didn't mean I was out of the woods yet, Jesus Christ. No problems. Okay, good.
やっぱり私が狙われたのかな。
That's safe to assume so, yes.
おそらくな。
連中、かがりたんのこと知ってるんかな。
だろうな。
I didn't know if they were with CERN yet, but it was safe to assume that they knew Kagari was from the future, and that's why they'd attacked her.
ごめんね。私のせいでみんなまで危険な目に遭わせてしまって。
It's not your fault.
君だけのせいじゃない。
She was brought here from the future at a young age, and then she went missing. She was another victim of fate like me.
でも本当にいいんですか？警察に届けなくても。
I doubt they'd be of much help, honestly.
すまないが、今はまだ。
Because I assume this is going to be like some secret government group. And obviously the police can't do much about a government group. Maho and the others had asked me the same thing. But I'd managed to get them to hold off. Part of the problem was that I didn't think that they'd believe us. But the biggest issue was Kagari. If we told them that they were after Kagari, we'd have to explain who she was. We couldn't tell them the truth, and even if we did, they wouldn't believe us.
で、これからどうする？
とにかく、連中が何者かわからなければ、どうしようもない。
じゃあ、 私たちだけで突き止めるってこと？どうやって？
それは。
To be honest, I had no clue. The world was full of groups who would want a functioning time machine if they knew it existed. Russia, America, China, and even Japan. If I couldn't find out who they were, the same thing was likely to happen again.
方法は明日改めて考えよう。それよりもルカ子、頼みがあるんだが。
はい、なんでしょう。
すまないが、今日から鈴葉も一緒にお前のところに泊めてもらってもいいか？
Sorry. There we go.
私がルカ兄さんの家に？
Sounds like a fairly good idea. Well, actually, would it be? I mean, Suza would be able to protect, if Kagari's gonna stay at the shrine, then actually, yeah, that is a good idea. Suzaha will be there to protect her.
ああ、かがりを他で預かってもらうのも考えたんだが、ここの方が人数も多いし、防犯設備も整っている。
They had security systems to keep people from vandalizing the place and robbing the donation boxes. Just taking a quick look around, I can see that there were cameras. And this was Kagari's ideas to begin with.
かがりもここの方がいいんだろ？
I could understand that. She was already in an unstable state after losing her memories, even before what happened today.
鈴葉がいてくれれば、みんな少しは安心できる。もちろん、ルカ子の家族の承認が必要だが。
お父さんはきっと大歓迎だと思います。
That was certainly true.
私も別に構わない。
僕も泊まってもいいのだぜ。
No. No.
兄さんは帰りなさい。
しょぶーん。
Watching them talk made me think that things were slowly returning to normal. Don't get ahead of yourself. Lukaku and Kagari's expressions softened a little. Dara's usual antics had come in handy for once.
じゃあ、頼んだぞ。何かあったら、すぐに連絡してくれ。
わかりました。
Dara and I left Kagari to the two of them and headed back to the lab.
なあ、あれ、本当に起きたことなんだよな。
ああ。
ドッキリとかじゃなくて、現実なんだよな。
Real. Yeah, that was real. I'd experienced it so many times before. Screams and the smell of gunpowder. Oh god.
どうしたん、オカリン？
すまない。安心したせいか、気分が。
I think that they handle Rintaro's trauma and PTSD really well in this novel. And it makes it really understandable of, like, his whole journey of, like, going back to the true ending of Steins Gate was not easy. It's never been easy to do the things that Rintaro's been doing. I'd been so focused on seeing everyone home safely that I hadn't had time to think about it, but with that done, the memories came flooding back. It definitely points out how much he suffered. Hey Morse, good to see you. And yeah, I definitely agree. More than a normal person could handle, really. I am of the opinion, Morse, I am of the heavy opinion that there is very few people that could go through what Rintaro did. He's a very strong person for being able to go through this. And I really admire him for that. The memories of last July.
大丈夫。今は僕も一緒だからさ。なんならちょっと休む？
It's the inner Chuni gives him strength, truly. I can feel Daru's huge hand gripping my back. Dude, take a shot every time they refer to Daru's size. Would you end up dead? I think you'd end up dead. I think you'd end up dead. Oh my god. Strangely, it made me feel a little better. Okay.
ありがとう。もう大丈夫だ。
無理すんなよ。
あ。
I started to walk toward the lab again, and Daru followed me, worried.
なあ、オカリン。
ん？
やっぱさ、これもタイムマシン関係のことだよな。
ああ。
これもシュタインズゲートの選択とかいうやつ？
The choice of Steins Gate?
今思えば痛々しい響きだな。
オカリン。
It is so sad to see Okabe just abandon his whole shtick, man. Just as he goes down this downward spiral, just sucks the life out of him more and more. Sad scientist, stop! That was wrong, man. Sad scientist. Man. Was it going to keep following me forever? No matter how much I tried to look away or run? I just wanted to live in peace. Was even that too much to ask now?
オカリン、肩貸してやるよ。
え？
まだふらついてるじゃん。ほれ。
I want to give Daru props here, but I know he's immediately gonna ruin it somehow. Somehow, some way, he'll find a way. He's in the beta world line. Peace was never an option. True.
大丈夫だよ。
いいから遠慮すんなって。
ダル。
ん？
お前キモいぞ。
I mean, he's not wrong.
最近のまともになったオカリンの方がキモいっつーの。
ありがとな。
気にすんな。
They're both right. They're actually both right, somehow. That's a good CG. Luka Urashibara was sad. He'd been sad for a long, long time. It had been a long time since he'd met Rintaro Okabe, become friends, and began to visit the Future Gadget Lab. Also, Daru didn't ruin the moment for once. I feel like that's the one time that's happened. I feel like that's the one time he didn't ruin it immediately. Itaru Hashida, his classmate Mayuri Shina, and the other lab members all treated him as a friend. That by itself made him happy. He was just an ordinary shy boy, and they accepted him anyway, He was very grateful for that. But still, he'd always felt like he was being left out. He knew they were hiding something from him. That made him sad. Oh. But what made him sadder was that he couldn't bring himself to ask them about it.
寝ないの？あまねさんこそまだ起きてたんですね。
I mean, I doubt Suzuha can get peaceful sleep regularly, and considering the time frame she's from.
いろいろ考えることがあってね。そうですか。
Even Luca could tell that a lot meant that she was thinking about what happened today. The New Year's party. The mysterious men who'd burst into the lab. It's always when they're having a party, man. Never throw a party in Steins Gate. It'll never end well. They were holding guns. Not plastic model guns. Real guns. Daru may be a super pervert, but he also cares about his friends. I personally think he could have been written better, but still, there's something there. It's just underneath all the layers. I know you did that on purpose, Morris. I know you did that on purpose. I mean, yeah, there's something there. It's, it just personally, I can't stand it. I just don't think the creepy pervert character archetype is, like, funny or entertaining. It's just weird and just creepy. And unfortunately, it's prevalent in a lot of stuff. From Luca's perspective, it was a mystery how they'd even gotten them into Japan. But they were real anyway. They'd had real guns in their hands, and they'd pointed them at him and the others. It hadn't seemed real then, but now the very thought made him shiver. If any of them had squeezed their index fingers just a little, Luca, wouldn't be here right now. Kagari Shina moaned softly in her sleep. She must have been really tired after everything that had happened today. She had gone to sleep almost immediately after she'd laid down, and her short breaths had soon changed into moans.
Mama.
Oh.
Mama. 言っちゃやだよ。
Oh. Man. Was she dreaming of her mother?
Mama. Mayuri. Mama.
Even that didn't surprise Luca much. She'd started calling out that name in her sleep several days ago. Kagari Shina. Mayuri Shina. At first, he just thought it was a coincidence that they had the same last name. Yeah. Yeah. But... He almost spoke, then stopped. There was so much he wanted to ask, but couldn't. He wanted courage. Just a little. The courage to ask them to tell him. I mean, like, I feel it's kind of unfair to Luca. They told Ferris everything, like, you know. It just feels strange to leave Luca out. He reached under his pillow and felt something hard. It was a cheap toy sword, the kind you could buy at any stores at Samidare. But still, it was his treasure. He held the hilt tight.
聞いてもいいですか？何？
Suzuha sat up and looked straight at him. He was only barely able to stop himself from looking away. If he did, he wouldn't be able to ask anything. He touched the toy sword once more and slowly opened his mouth to speak.
あまねさんはどうして岡部さんのことオカリンおじさんって呼ぶんですか？どうしてまゆりちゃんのことまゆ姉さんって呼ぶんですか？どうしてフェイリスさんのことルミ姉さんって呼ぶんですか？僕のことルカ兄さんって呼ぶんですか？まゆりママってまゆりちゃんのことですよね。どうしてかがりさんがまゆりママなんて言うんですか？
私の言えた義理じゃないってことは分かってる。でも知らない方がいいと思う。
But why, though? Like, he's a good friend and he wouldn't just go around blabbing to everyone.
そうやって僕はまた蚊帳の外なんですか？僕だって知りたいです。僕だって皆さんと同じ悩みを共有したいんです。
ルカ兄さん、
教えてもらえませんか
？I mean, that's true, Morse. But yeah, like you said, it's only hurting him, and it just feels kind of like leaving out, singling out somebody, you know. I think that might even be a trope. But yeah, it's definitely a trope for sure. Happens semi-often in fiction, yeah. She looked him straight in the eye for a moment, silently. Luca simply waited.
オカリンおじさんがさ、ルカ兄さんに事情を言わない理由、私なんとなくわかる気がするんだ。
理由ですか？
ルカ兄さんには純粋にこの世界の人でいてほしいんだよ。ルカ兄さんだけは今という時間の存在でいてほしいんだ。それがオカリンおじさんの救いなんだ。
Oh.
僕が救い？
ああ。
そんな。
Now that she'd told him that, he couldn't ask any more questions. Did Rentaro Okabe really think that? He didn't even know. In the end, he'd never know anything. And that only made him sadder. Oh. Sorry, Luca. The next day, after the attack, I'd arrived just a little before I was supposed to, but the person I was meeting was already there.
お待たせしましたにゃ。
ありがとう。
近くの席にはしばらく誰も座らせないようにするから、思う存分話すといいにゃ。
助かる。
Oh, shoot. I sipped some fresh coffee as I observed the person in front of me. Moika Kiryu. She was as expressionless as ever, and there was no way to tell what she was thinking.
話って。
腕の調子はどうだ？
Arm?
腕？
ああ。もう大丈夫なのか？
The girl in the motorcycle suit, yes? I don't think that was her. She'd blocked Suzuha's kick with her arm. Suzuha told me later that her kick had landed pretty hard, and whoever it hit had probably gotten hurt. If that was Moeka...
何を言ってるかわからない。
I think he's trying to confirm whether... yeah, I get that, but I just don't think it was Moeka.
そうか。
But I still didn't know if Moeka was innocent.
腕を見せてもらってもいいか。
腕？
ああ。左の腕の袖をまくってもらいたい。
どうして？
ダメか？
Moeka sighed as if she were annoyed. She didn't seem upset or worried at all. Alright, sorry Moeka. Let me pull this up real quick. Oh Karin, oh Karin! Big trouble. Oh god. Can it wait? What's up? You remember what happened yesterday, right? So I was just talking with Nai on Rhine. And then she told me about her dreams for the future. Nai's dreams, huh? What were they? First one. She wants to get good at badminton. Okay. You said first. Does that mean there's second? Second. She wants to get good at fighting games. Okay. Hey, current year is the best time to get good at fighting games. You got Street Fighter 6, I think it was 6, coming out. Mortal Kombat 1 and Tekken 8 eventually. I don't think Tekken 8 will be this year, but it'll be eventually. You know about the fighting game thing that actually is relevant in robotics notes? Oh, okay. Just sends my eerie sticker. The third. Gasp! She wants to decorate the Bronte workshop so it looks pretty. Nutty! Fourth. She wants a telescope. Is that a dream? She says she likes looking... She says lately she's liked looking at the stars. She must have gotten it from you. Jealous! God. The stickers are too good, man. She seems like she's interested in space. Nice, so strong. She's a very strong girl. You're right. Oh, Mayushi is okay too. Okay. Oh, man. And that made me worried. Why was she so calm? Moeka rolled up her sleeve like I asked her to. Her skin was a deathly pale white. I mean, yeah. She's got a desk job. That's just people with a desk job, man. There was nothing else. There were no bruises, and no traces of her trying to hide something with foundation. I wonder if this counts as foreshadowing for Robotics Notes since it technically released after it? Maybe. I mean, I don't know anything about it, so I can't confirm or deny that. But maybe. The writers definitely seem like smart enough to do something like that, or like have the foresight for it. Of course, there were also no bandages.
ありがとう。しまってくれ。
Moeka tilted her head just a little and rolled her sleeve back down. The girl in the motorcycle suit wasn't Moeka. Alright, I'll be honest with you guys. The reason I could tell is the girl in the motorcycle suit did not have nearly as large as a rack as Moeka did. Alright, I'm sorry. I had to say it. I had to say it. I'm like, there's no way that was Moeka. I'm just saying. Oh, God. This wasn't a big surprise. You sure? It still seemed like it was decently sized. It was decently sized, but it wasn't Moeka sized. You know what I mean? Oh, man. I need to stop talking. I already assumed she wasn't. Come to think of it, Moeka knew that Kagari Shino was with us a long time ago. The clothing in this V inside a lot, but still. Yeah. There was no need to attack when so many people were around. Moeka had nothing to do with this, knowing that for sure was progress. But that left me with a new problem. Who was the woman in the motorcycle suit, then? I actually genuinely have no idea. That is genuinely a mystery to me. Yeah, I can't think of anyone. In order to allay Moeka's suspicions, I asked her for a report on her research and told her to keep it up. Then I said goodbye and headed to my next destination. This was my next destination. The answer is maybe in this route, I don't remember. Who knows, man. It took real dedication to open a store like this on the 2nd of January. I took a deep breath, steeled myself, and went inside.
失礼します。
やっと来やがったか。
He sounded like he was waiting for me.
昨日の説明をしに来たんだろ？
それもあります。
Tanoji had been really pushy about last night, so I told him I'd explain today.
で、昨日のは一体何だったんだ？
その前に一つ確認したいんですが、昨日のあれはあなたの差し金じゃないですよね。
Tanoji always looked angry, but now he looked even more pissed off.
俺の？それは一体どういう意味だ？なんで俺があんな連中をおめんとこにやんなきゃならね
え。わかりませんか？
わかるわけねえだろ、んなもん。
それは。
I checked to see that Nai was nearby before I spoke.
あなたがラウンダーだからですよ。ミスター・フェルディナント・ブラウン。いや、FB と呼んだ方がいいですか？
I did not think he would just come out and say it. Oh my god. That's a brave move. I'll say that much. Alright. Ferdinand Braun. Karl Ferdinand Braun, 1850 to 1918. German. Winner of the 1909 Nobel Prize in Physics. Inventor of the Braun tube. Yeah, he just straight up said it. He just like, let's just get that out of the way. Surprised me a bit too. Okay, so CERN is still. I mean, we shouldn't really be surprised that CERN's still a thing. But still. He's usually not that direct. Not at all. His expression quickly turned blank.
てめえ。
お父さん？
Nai must have sensed the change in her dad's mood, because she turned towards him.
どうしたの？
どうしたって何がだ？
急に怖い顔したから。
そうか？お父さんはいつも通りだぞ。ほら。ほら、分かったらいい子だから外で。ああ、いやいや、そこでテレビでも見てな。な。
Nai still seemed concerned, but did as she was told and sat in the chair in front of the CRT TV. The TV was playing a New Year's comedy program.
やはり 娘には知られたくはないんですね。
Tanoji said nothing but motioned for me to sit in a chair away from her. Instead of his usual yelling, he was ice cold. I started sweating despite the winter chill. I mean, he could very well just kind of crush your skull with one hand, so very understandable. But now that I'd brought it up, it was too late to do anything about it. I sat down in the small seat, legs tense. I was ready to run away at any moment.
おめえ、何を言ってやがる。
ごまかしても無駄です。
ごまかすも何も、俺にはおめえが何を言ってるのかさっぱりわからねえな。
Oh?
なんだ、その FB とかなんとかってのは、新手の SNS か？
Oh, maybe there isn't, like, a CERN that's evil. I think we know what SNS is, but we'll do it anyways. Social networking service. These are community-oriented websites of varying forms, such as registration-based or invitation only. These sites include functions that make it easier to communicate with others on the internet. Messaging. That's what SNS is. You ever send a message on a smartphone? There you go.
俺は知ってるんです。あなたがセルンのラウンダーだってことを。
His eyes felt like they were boring a hole in me. They were completely different from the eyes of the ordinary Tanoji I knew. They were the eyes of a killer. A cold killer who wasn't even trying to hide his murderous intent.
一応聞いてやるが、おめえのその情報はどこからのもんだ？
話す必要はありません。
Don't let him intimidate you. You're in control here.
いいから聞かせろや。それくらいの覚悟を決めてここに来たんだろうが。
話してもどうせあなたは信じない。
そう言わずに茶飲み話としゃれ込もうや。どうせこんな日に客なんか来ねえしな。
This man worked for CERN. He was a rounder. What those rounders did to me in the other world line. I'd never forget that. You can definitely tell how different he is from the usual self. Like, he's got none of the usual aggression. It's just like the calm prodding of like someone that is like a mercenary basically, or like just a professional killer. Like, it's intimidating in its own way, without having the forceful energy of just anger. The voice actor does a really good job of it. But Tsunoji probably didn't work for CERN willingly. He probably had his reasons. At least, that's how it felt in the Alpha World line. Of course, the Beta World line might be different. In this world, he'd never met Suzu Hashida. How much of an effect that had on his life, I didn't know. Tanoji was staring at me, not moving a muscle. Depending on what I said, he was ready to kill me without a word. That's what his body language seemed to convey. Fine, I'll tell you then. Let's see if you believe it.
世界線な。到底信じられる話じゃねえな。
Well, there's your answer.
最初にそう言いましたよ。それに、あなたが信じようが信じまいが関係ない。俺はあなたの正体を知っている。重要なのはそこだけです。
確かにその通りだ。
Oh. He admitted it.
おめえの話は ほぼ完璧だ。俺しか知らねえようなことまで知ってやがる。正直、薄気味悪いくらいだ。
By making Tenoji admit who he really was, I could assume I'd won the first round of this conversation. This is when things got hard.
セルンの機密保持は絶対だということは知っています。それに任務に失敗した者だけでなく達成した者まで処分されるということも。
CERN had always ensured that their rounders died. And then, they'd kill Mayuri too.
そこまで知ってんのかよ。だったら。
He slowly stood up.
しかし、これは任務とは関係ない。
I barely managed to squeak out the words.
機密だってそうです。漏洩したわけじゃない。俺は最初から知っていたに過ぎない。だから、処罰の対象にはならない。違いますか？
詭弁だな。
Tenoji's face was right in front of me, though. His green eyes were boring into me, and I couldn't even move.
だが間違っちゃいねえ。別に俺はセルンから IB への5100とやらを探せとも言われてねえし、おめえらを連れてこいとも言われてねえ。言われてねえことはする必要がねえってことだ。俺がラウンダーだったこともおめえが黙ったりゃ済む。何も困ったことはねえな。
Tenoji was looking past me, toward Nai, who was still watching TV. His eyes had changed from those of a beast to those of a parent.
で、おめえの目的は何だ？俺に全て話したってことは何か目的があんだろ。
実はあなたに頼みたいことがある。
Tenoji silently waited for me to continue.
椎名かがりを、昨べ狙われた女性を守ってやってほしい。
あの嬢ちゃんは誰に、なぜ狙われてる？
わかりません。
それじゃあそんな話は受けられねえな。
娘を巻き込みたくないからですか？
分かってんじゃねえか。だったら最初からそんな話すんじゃねえよ。
すでに一度巻き込まれているじゃないですか。昨日のようなことが今後ないとでも。
苗を人質にしてるつもりか？
Uh-oh. I don't know if that's a good idea.
殺すぞてめえ。
Oh. Stay calm. Lose it here and it's all over.
協力し合おうと言っているんですよ。
協力ね。こっちにデメリットしかねえじゃねえか。
そんなことないよ。
Oh! When the hell did she get here? Suzuha came to the store along with... Oh.
すみません。
かがり。鈴葉、話を聞いてたのか？
Suzuha nodded.
例えば、私とかがりをバイトとしてここに置いてもらえれば、目を離さなくてもよくなる。
Are we actually getting the Suzuha working for Brown again? Just in such a strange way? Oh my god. True, it was close to the lab and probably safer. He could protect them while protecting Nai.
おめえらがこのビルから出てく方が手っ取り早いな。そしたら俺やナイが巻き込まれることもなくなる。
あなたたち親子は昨日襲ってきた連中の顔を見ている。それが何を意味するかわからないわけじゃないはず。
There was a chance they might try to kill everyone who saw their faces.
私は戦闘の経験がある。銃も扱える。あなたも昨日見てたはず。だからそれなりに役には立てる。
Tenoji rubbed his temples and thought for a moment, but...
お父さん。
Nai, who'd been watching TV the whole time, suddenly interrupted.
私よくわかんないけど昨日みたいなことは怖いからもう嫌だな。
ナイ。
お父さんが守ってくれてすごく嬉しかったけど、お父さんが私を守るために無茶して怪我するかもって想像したらもっと怖くなった。
No.
鈴葉お姉ちゃんはすごく強いし、昨日も私のことかばってくれてたよ。
Didn't I understand what we were saying?
私はお姉ちゃんたちと一緒がいいな。
Tenoji scratched his head and then spoke brusquely.
言っとくが、バイト代は2人で1人分だからな。
Sounds about right. Oh, man.
渋いね。
文句があるならいいんだぜ。
いえ、ありがとうございます、店長さん。お父さん。
Oh. Nai gave her dad a hug. This was a good sign. If Tenoji was on her side, I could probably keep Kagari safe.
ありがとうございます。
別におめえのためじゃねえ。ナエのためだ。
Nai was already happily chattering away at Kagari and Suzaha. As Tenoji watched, his eyes were those of a father again.
ま、こっちはそういうことにしてやっからよ。岡部、おめえは連中が何者なのか突き止めろ。じゃねえと対策も打ちようがねえぞ。わかったな。
わかりました。
Let's go. It was one thing to say it, but honestly, I had no clues at all. I turned to go up to the stairs to the lab when Tenoji seemed to remember something.
そうだ。そういやあの連中、妙な番号を口走ってやがったな。
番号？
確か、そう。K6205 とかなんとか。
Did they say that? Did I miss that? They might have. K6205. Was it some kind of code?
しかも、5を5って発音してやがった。
Five.
どこかの鉛ってことですか？
そうじゃねえ。フォネティックコードっつってな、軍隊用語だ。
Phonetic code. A method of pronouncing letters used to avoid being misunderstood on wireless channels. Oh, that very well could be Russia then, couldn't it? Or at least an official military agency.
軍隊？
それも西側のな。
Oh, okay. That's alright. It's not Russia then. It wouldn't be America, would it?
やっと来たにゃん、オカリン。
Or unofficial. Lots of paramilitary groups could be involved too. That's true. I came straight up to the lab, where most of the people who were here yesterday had gathered. Maho was busy with a problem Amadeus was having, and she was the only one who couldn't come.
みんな大丈夫か？あんなことがあったばかりなのに集まって。
そのあんなことが起きた理由を聞きに来たんですよ。
The committee isn't the only shadow organization. True.
それに場所を移すよりも同じ場所の方が安全だって橋田さんが。
Could be any number of people. Yeah, we still don't really have anything solid to go on. We're still kind of just fumbling about, but something's better than nothing.
昨日の今日で警戒してるところに来るバカはいないっしょ。それもこんな真っ昼間から。
バラバラでいるよりみんなでいる方が安心です。
Maybe they were right. Whoever they were, it was hard to imagine them starting something in Akihabara, Japan, in the middle of the day.
とにかく皆さん無事でよかったです。ゆきさん、ありがとう。わざわざ来てくれて。私も昨日の夜話を聞いて心配だったから。
Yuki wasn't here during the attack, but she'd come to see how we were doing.
でも信じられないです。この日本でそんな恐ろしいことがあるなんて。
日本じゃなくてもあんな経験はなかなかできないよ。
That was true. Nobody who lived a normal life would ever see it. That's what normal meant.
岡部さんが来て早々で悪いんですが、私この後バイトがあって。
ああ、気にしないでくれ。
皆さんの顔が見れて安心しました。でもまだ油断は禁物なので気をつけてください。
Oh?
危ない。
Yuki almost slipped as she walked past me. I grabbed her arm to hold her up. Oh. I thought they got attacked again. I was like, what the hell is this?
あ、悪い。
いえ、ちょうどここ昨日駅で転んで怪我しちゃって。
Hmm? She rubbed the arm I'd grabbed, embarrassed.
その時も何もないところで転んじゃったんですよ。ほんとドジで嫌になっちゃいます。気をつけてね、ゆきさん。ありがとう。それじゃあ皆さんもお気をつけて。
The door closed, and I could hear her footsteps trail off into the distance. 2 days of work in a row, right after New Year's, huh?
どうしたん、オカリン。
いや、
The way she hurt her arm. There's no way! That could also just be a huge coincidence, though. to be fair, that could just be a giant coincidence. But still, though, that is suspect. And we do know that Yuki was technically not at the party. Unless... But why would... I guess asking why would be a stupid question. It is obviously some secret affiliacy. It was the left arm, the same place the woman in the motorcycle suit had gotten hit. But there was no way.
それじゃあ早速ですけど、オカリンさん、昨日のあの出来事について説明してもらっていいですか？
Fubuki was a little more chipper than Mayuri and Luca. She and Kaide had gone shopping, and so they'd missed the attack. That was probably why. They were lucky not to have encountered any of the escaping attackers.
そうだな。じゃあまず
Daru and I had spent hours discussing how much to tell them. After all that, I couldn't just play it off like nothing had happened. The only ones here who knew about the time machine were Daru, Ferris, and Mayuri. I still think Mayuri was such a strange person to tell. Not Mayuri, sorry, Ferris. I meant Ferris, sorry. Was it okay to tell Luca, Fubuki, and Kaide? And then Maho. Ferris has resources. True. If she knew that Karisu had completed a time machine theory, she'd definitely be interested. She can also keep a secret pretty well, too. Also true. In the end, the conclusion I'd come up with was...
ということなんだ。
つまり、かがりさんは記憶を失っている間に何らかの犯罪に巻き込まれたかもしれないってこと？
おそらくな。
だったらどうして警察に言わないんですか？
それは彼女がひどく怯えるんだ。警察のことをね。もしかしたら警察もその犯罪に関係しているのかもしれない。
なんかすっきりしないな。
Of course it doesn't. I was basically telling them that I didn't know anything. But even if I was hiding a lot of the truth, the fact remained that it was mostly correct.
昨日の一件でわかるのは、襲ってきた人たちの狙いはかがりさんだけで、僕たちに手を出すことはないだろうということですよね。
どうしてそう思うの？
あの状況なら僕らのうち誰かを人質に取ることだってできたはずなんです。それをしようとしなかったということは、あの人たちはあまりことを大きくしたくなかったんだと思います。
それについては俺と誰も同じ結論になった。
That's a dangerous conclusion to come up to, though, because that could lead to somebody getting brave and trying one of the attackers, and then not ending that situation well.
だから俺たちさえおとなしくしていればきっと安全なはずだ。
That was a lie. Just like Suzuha had said earlier, there was a good chance they might come after us because we'd seen their faces. But it wasn't smart to say that and worry everyone.
だから中瀬さんや来島さんはしばらくここに来ない方がいい。
でもかがりさんはどうするんですか？
それはもう手は打ってある。ボディーガードをつけた。
ボディーガードですか？
昨日あの連中を撃退した心強い二人をな。
すずさんと店長さんだね。ああ、あのムキムキおじさん。でもそれだとまたいつ襲われるかもしれないって怯え続けることに。
I was right. Just playing defense wouldn't solve anything.
こっちはこっちで探偵あたりを雇ってかがりが誰に狙われているのか調べるつもりだ。ある程度情報が出揃ったら場合によっては警察に話す。
Of course, more than half of that was lies again. If I went to the police or a detective, they wouldn't believe me about Kagari being a time traveler. But what was important now was calming everyone down. From there, I'd have to solve things myself. To be honest, I was sick of living in the middle of a conspiracy theory. But it was the only way I could get my everyday life back.
だにゃ。で、オカリン、聞いてるにゃ？
ああ、すまない。何の話だ？
昨日の件、黒木にも伝えておいたにゃ。秋葉界隈で何かおかしな動きがあったら、すぐに連絡が来るってはずにゃ。
そうか。
あと、自警団の見回りも強化してもらうにゃ。これでしばらくは変な動きはできないはずにゃ。
ありがとう、フェイリス。助かるよ。
お安い
あの、僕にも何か手伝えることありませんか？かがりさんが大変なのに僕何もできなくて、岡部さんの力にもなれないなんて、そんなの。
ご用にゃ。マユシーもかがりさんのために何かしたいな。でも私たちにできることなんてあるのかな。
それは。
Everyone fell silent. Even after all that had happened to them, they still wanted to help. But I couldn't let them be in danger. And then I remembered what Tenoji had said.
K6205。
なんぞそれ。
昨日の連中が口にしていたらしいんだが、俺にも何のことだかわからないんだ。
ちょい待ち、今ググってみる。
Google to the rescue! Goggle, net slang, to search on the internet. Yeah, we all know what Google is. Goggle. Yeah, copyright coming in handy. I mean, technically, couldn't they have just given it 3 O's? Or maybe that wouldn't be good enough. Daru opened a browser and quickly typed it in. Funny how they didn't use that in Steins Gate. True.
商品の番号とかしか出てこんね。
Tenoji said they might be military. So it might be a military code. Which meant there was nothing we could do. I was hoping there might be some clue, but...
ケヘル。
Huh?
ん？来島さん、今なんて？
いえ、ケってことはケヘル番号かなって思ったんですけど、関係ないですよね。
I don't even know what that means.
ケヘル番号って何？
Thank you for asking that. I would have never known.
モーツァルトの曲につけられた番号のことよ。モーツァルトが亡くなった後にケッヘルっていう人が時系列に合わせてつけた番号なんだけど、でもさすがのモーツァルトでも6000番台までは存在しないはずですし、そもそも事件とは。
Let's see. I'll Google it real quick. We'll test that theory out. How many songs did Mozart. Right. 600. Not quite 6,000, but 600. You're 1-0 off there. That's a lot of songs, man. Jeez. Oh, I'm sorry, Golden. Hopefully you can get that fixed in time. Or, if not, maybe you can find someone to drive you. Hope everything solves itself. Mozart. Oh, nice. You got your grandpa's car. Okay. That's good. Wolfgang A. Mozart.
ごめんなさい。変なこと言っちゃって。
Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. I forgot that his middle name's Amadeus. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. Hold on. That could have something to do with why Amadeus shut off suddenly. There could be something there. Yep.
Daru, そのケッヘル番号っていうのはいくつまである？
最後が626番のレクイエムって書いてある。
モーツァルトが死ぬ間際に書いていた曲ですね。
Well, they did say that the last number wasn't like... It was military jargon, so it could just be 620. No, it's not. No, it's not, Golden.
楓さん詳しいね。ほら、私ピアノやってるから。
それじゃあ、計620番はなんていう曲だ？
620、620... お、あったあった。マテキって曲みたい。
The Magic Flute. What was that song about? Let's see. An opera written by Mozart in 1791. Its co-shell number is 620. Mozart was commissioned to write this opera for public consumption by the manager of a Viennese opera house. But it's said that both he and the manager were members of the Freemasons, and the lyrics contain many allusions to the Freemason symbols and teachings. The Queen of the Night aria is its most well-known song. It has also been turned into a movie. I don't know that much about the Magic Flute itself, so I can't really derive anything from that. I'd heard the name before, at least.
ちょっと見せてくれ。
I looked over Daru's shoulder at the screen. He clicked on the heading for the Magic Flute on Mozart's wiki page. The Magic Flute. K620. Written in 1791. Mozart's last completed opera. It was famous for including numerous examples of Freemason doctrine and symbols. Freemasons, a secret society founded sometime between the latter 16th century to the start of the 17th. It was said to be a union of stonemasons who built cathedrals, monasteries, palaces, and castles. Branches still exist all over the world, and the organization has over 6 million members. In conspiracy theories and fiction, it is often depicted as a terrifying secret organization that rules the world. Oh shoot. We're gonna get another group? The Freemasons? Hold on.
K6205 つことは5曲目?
In other words, it might be connected to the committee, yeah. The 5th song in the opera. Or an extension like CERN, yep. The 5th song was a quintet called Papageno. Papageno? I don't know. The birdcatcher has a padlock placed over his lips, and this is a song begging someone to open the lock. Mozart. Amadeus. Okay. Freemasonry. A padlock on his lips?
なんかわかりそう？
I don't think I can decipher much from that. I could give like a general idea, but I'm not sure.
いや、そういうわけじゃないんだが。
Maybe it's referring to like locking up Amadeus to where it can't talk? Maybe the padlock is referring to putting the lock on the system? I'm not sure though. Why did this all feel so creepy? And didn't I just talk to somebody about Mozart? Yep, Amadeus. Yep.
パスワードは見ないで。
Maho. Maho had used Salieri, Mozart's rival, as her password to access Amadeus. On its own, that didn't mean anything, but... Come to think of it, Maho said she lost access to Amadeus just before the attack last night, didn't she? Did she ever find out what caused it? I'd have to call her or contact her via Rhine. We doing Rhine? Something I want to ask you. Got some time? I hope she'd pick it up soon. Oh. Whoa! Did the stream stop for a minute? Alright, let me pick this up first. I suddenly got a message that almost made me leap out of my chair. I looked at my screen and saw it was from Maho. Oh, the stream didn't stop? Okay. Did she see my message and call me?
何？また何かあったの？
いや、そうじゃない。聞きたいことがあるんだ。
手短にお願い。
Her irritation was plain from her voice, which meant that she hadn't solved whatever the problem with Amadeus was.
アマデウスはどうなった？
ダメ。
システムが落ちてるのか？
違うわ。アクセスできないのよ。
Which meant they changed the password, right? They found a way to change the password?
何者かがアマデウスのシステムを乗っ取ったのかも。
Taken over? Amadeus? But why?
ごめんなさい。もういいかしら。原因が解明できたらこっちから連絡するわ。
She hung up on me.
マホタンなんて？
アマデウスが何者かによって乗っ取られたらしいって。
乗っ取りか。
モーツァルトつながりで何か関連があるかと思ったが。
I couldn't say anything yet. Fragments of these strange incidents were scattered all around me. That's how it felt. If I could pick up all the pieces and connect them, would I find the answer? For example, Yuki Amane's injured left arm. What did that mean?
Hmm?
Oh. Amadeus?
もしもし。
Oh, she does not. Oh.
助けて。
What's wrong?
クリス。
助けて。岡部。
In that instant, I suddenly felt incredibly dizzy, and everything went black. Oh god, did they change the timeline? That's exactly what happened. Oh no! Did we just go to Alpha again? It went 0 point. whatever they did, they just brought us straight back to Alpha. I think. Yeah, that's Alpha. Which means Mayuri's screwed. Based on the numbering conventions, yeah. Because anything below 1 and above negative is alpha. And anything above 1 is beta, for what we know. Also, I think our route is now set, and I find it ironic. I wonder what choice I made that said it. Also, I feel like that was kinda quick. I felt like I was floating up from the bottom of a black pit. My mind slowly began to clear. I slowly looked around the room. There was no way I could mistake it. This was the Future Gadget Lab. The place I'd been just a moment ago. There was nothing unusual about it. Except for the fact that everyone was missing. Oh god. But if we're taking this into account, that has to mean that Karisu's still alive. But it also means that Mayuri is going to die. They'd been there just a moment ago, but now they were all gone. Hell, Mayuri might already be dead. Since it's already 2011. Assuming Mayuri isn't already dead. I looked at the clock. It had been just about 3 PM when I'd finished my call with Maho. Only a few minutes had passed. Even if I'd passed out, it was impossible to imagine all of them leaving me here. Which meant...
Masaka.
Yep. I took a slow walk around the room. There were other strange things. Daru's PC, for example. There was a thin layer of dust on the keyboard. As if no one had used it for a while. And then the corner of the room. Normally, that was where Mayuri put her bags. The paper bags where she always put the cosplay outfit she was working on. I'd seen them there just a moment ago, but now they were gone. Could this be...
また世界線が変わった。
Yep. But why?
そういえば
Karisu's words from before. Why would Karisu say something like that? Did it have something to do with the world line shift? I took the phone out of my pocket and went to start the Amadeus app and then stopped.
消えてる。
Well, it's gone. Since Okabe is no longer the one directly messing with time travel, reading Steiner is more erratic. Resulting world lines may vary. Yeah, that makes it even scarier though. Because at a moment's notice, he could just be brought into a world that, like, he had no control over. And he's got to figure out everything again. That's terrifying, actually. The Amadeus icon was gone from my phone.
どういうことだ。これは。
My mind raced to try and come up with an explanation. But of course, I came up with nothing.
落ち着け。とにかく状況を確認するんだ。
At any moment, he could travel to almost any point in time between now and 2036, theoretically. Yep. I needed to calmly find out what this world was like. I was about to walk towards the door to find out when... The back of the room... Oh god. I heard a sound from the back of the development room, which no one ever used anymore. Uh-oh. Someone was there. Who? Daru? Mayuri? I slowly approached. It's Kurisu. I mean, we do know that Kurisu's alive. I almost couldn't breathe. I never forgot. I'd never forgotten her. The girl standing there was Kurisu Makise. Achievement: the orbital eclipse. Anatomic duel? This is strange. Kurisu Makise was looking down at something. Kurisu couldn't be here. Because she was dead. Was I saying things? Was my desire to see her making me hallucinate? But it seemed far too realistic to be a hallucination. Still, I felt that if I spoke a word, she'd disappear. I couldn't say a thing. What was she staring at, without even moving a muscle? She was so still that I thought she must be a hallucination after all. But then... Okay, never mind. Our final route isn't set, but I have an idea of where it's going. We essentially have two endings we could reach at this point. Oh, okay. She finally exhaled a little and slowly turned around. Oh, they're using the old sprite for Kurisu. Interesting choice. Oh no. Oh, Rentaro's gonna lose his mind. My throat was dry and I couldn't speak.
来てたなら来てたって言いなさいよ。黙って立ってたらびっくりするじゃない。明けましておめでとう。それにしても珍しいわね。あんたがここに顔出すなんて。岡部？
クリス。クリス。なんだな。
Man. You can't get me to cry again, Steins Gate. It won't happen.
新年早々何言ってるのよ。大丈夫？何か悪いものでも食べた？
Even her slightly peeved expression.
クリス。
何？
The gentle flash you sometimes saw in her eyes. And this.
どうしたのよ。本当に大丈夫な。
No. No. Even her warmth.
あんた急に何を。
It wasn't a hallucination. Or an artificial intelligence on a screen. It was the real Kurisu Makise.
岡部？
The real live Kurisu Makise. Oh god, that got me.
ねえ、岡部、お願い話して。
すまない。でも、もう少しだけ。このまま。
Oh god.
あんたもしかして泣いてるの？
I realized for the first time that my cheeks were wet. Oh, God, not again! You can't do this to me! I felt her soft hands on my back.
心配しないで。もう平気だから。
クリス。
大丈夫よ。大丈夫だから。
She whispered to me in a soft voice and patted me on the back, and wrapped her arms around me, like a kind mother holding a child.
すまなかった。
I finally calmed myself down. She was still there. She still existed. Now that I'd calmed down, I'd realized what that meant.
気にしないで。無理もないわよ。私だって時々あるもの。そういうこと。
そういうこと？
思い出したんでしょ？まゆりのこと。
Okay, so that confirms that Mayuri's already died. That's right. Kurisu was here. Which meant that this was the Alpha World line. He realized that fairly quickly. I'm surprised. I mean, he's not stupid, so... The world without Mayuri. The world where Mayuri died. Some small part of me had wished that this was the world beyond Steins Gate. That it was a new future, which someone else had opened for me. But of course, it was too good to be true. There was no way for me to know what had happened. But I must have made my choice. To give up on Mayuri. There was the future where she was gone. Confronted once more with the reality of Mayuri's death, my heart felt like it was about to burst.
Mayuri...
Why would she died? Oh God.
岡部？
Did they push her in front of a train? He's having a panic attack a lot. Did they shoot her? Or...
落ち着いて。
Kurisu's tiny hand wrapped around mine.
ね、ほら、深く息を吐いて。
God. I'm not crying, I'm not. Little by little, my racing heart had begun to calm down. He has no anxiety meds here, so tactical Kurisu deployed. Yep.
ごめん、私が余計なこと言っちゃったから。
いや、そうじゃないんだ。そうじゃ。
薬飲む？水持ってくる。
I rummaged through my pocket and found a small box of pills. It was the same anxiety and medication that I'd already been taking. Even in this world, I was still on the same drugs. I looked around the room while Kurisu got me some water from the tap. Oh, so he still does have them? I forgot. I mean, it makes sense. He's very closely connected to both of them, so I'd imagine they both affect him in a very similar way. Plus, I mean, like, who wants to see your friend die, you know what I mean?
ねえ、岡部。どうしてここに来たの？
ここにはずっと寄りつかなかったでしょ。橋田も来なくなったし。
ダルも。
ええ。
The room was awfully clean then. I took a closer look and saw that there were a few places like Daru's PC that were covered in dust, but the rest seemed to have been regularly cleaned.
お前はクリスは来ていたのか。
時々ね。じゃないと寂しいだろうと思って。
I didn't have to ask who they were. Mayuri loved this place. She loved the Future Gadget Lab. She loved the time she spent with all the lab members here.
ごめんね。
どうして謝る？
だって。
I waited, but no answer ever came. What was she apologizing for? For talking about Mayuri? For making me remember? Or for making me choose?
クリス。
何？
あ、いや、なんでもない。
If I said something, she'd answer me right away. I could reach out and touch her. That alone brought me to the verge of tears. If I just stayed here, like this... What was I thinking? I'd given up on everything and left her to die. And still, I was happy to be back here in this world line with Kurisu. As I was sad over losing Mayuri, part of me was thinking I wanted to stay here. Even though I didn't have the right. If there was a god in this world, he must be a cruel, twisted being. Why was he doing this to me again? Was what I'd done that wrong? I'd already made my choice once. There was no way to save the world. There was no way to save Kurisu. But... with Kurisu in front of me, I was already starting to waver. Should I go back to the Beta World line? Should I send the D-mail?
Huh?
The D-mail?
そういえば、電話レンジカッコ仮はどうした？
どうって、あんたが破棄させたんでしょ？忘れたの？
ああ、そうだったな。
The phone wave no longer existed, it seemed. Of course, it didn't. Its mere existence had made us a target of CERN. Without it, I couldn't leave this world line on my own. So even if I did stay here in this world line, it wouldn't be my responsibility. It wasn't my fault, and it wasn't something I'd wanted. Which meant...
ねえ、岡部。悪いんだけど、何か飲むもの買ってきてくれない？
飲むもの？
ちょっと喉乾いちゃったのよね。できれば温かいものがいいわ。
インスタントのコーヒーぐらいなら作るぞ。
Wasn't that what Kurisu had always made me do? 2 cubes of sugar, no milk.
コーヒー切らしちゃってるのよ。
わかった。
Yeah, I should go. I want to get outside and think things through.
ミルクと砂糖の入った甘いやつね。
ミルクは入れないんじゃなかったのか。
寒い日には思いっきり甘ったるいものが飲みたくなる。
了解だ。
I stood up and headed for the door, but turned around halfway.
何？
いや、
It felt like if I took my eyes off her, she'd disappear. But that was far too embarrassing to say.
岡部。しっかりね。
子供じゃないんだ。お使いぐらいできる。
そうね。いってらっしゃい。
My whole body relaxed the second I stepped outside of the lab. Notice that the brown tube workshop it's shut for obvious reasons. I noticed that background change. Evidently, meeting the living Kurisu had made me really tense. I didn't know how to talk to her or what to say anymore. Even though I'd spoken to Kurisu like it was the most normal thing in the world. I still couldn't believe it, though. Yeah, it's after 7, they went home. Was this really the Alpha World line? No. If Kurisu was here, it had to be. But then why? Who'd caused the world line change and how? That call from Kurisu. Was that what triggered it somehow? No, I should stop thinking about it. If someone else had caused it somehow, I shouldn't get involved anymore. I didn't want to. I didn't want to overthrow the structure of the world anymore. I just wanted to live in peace. In a universe with no world lines or attractor fields. Tractor field. We know what it is from the last game, but we'll go over it again. Worldline Convergence Zone. This is the standard accepted model for quantum physics in 2036. After the many worlds interpretation and the Copenhagen interpretation, it is a deterministic interpretation where many world lines gather together in a world branch, called an attractor field. This attractor field is simply a zone, in which all world lines will eventually reach the same end result. Major splits in the world line at the attractor field level are called world line trunks. One pre-2010 example of a world line trunk is the year 2000. Yep. I'd stopped letting the whims of fate rule my life. There was nothing left that I could do. Suddenly, something seemed very wrong. Kurisu's words a moment ago, what had they meant?
岡部。しっかりね。
She couldn't mean to. I turned around and rushed back into the lab.
クリス！クリス、お前、それ。
参ったわね。見つかっちゃったか。
Oh. She was just where I'd seen her for the first time, standing and looking toward the back of the development room. Is that the time leap machine? That's not... It's got the headphones, so I think that's the time leap. Or am I looking at that wrong? Or is that just the phone wave? In the depths of the darkness, in a spot that just a moment ago had been covered by a cloth, I saw an old microwave with its door taken off. Yep. I think we all know what a microwave oven is, but we'll do it. A cooking appliance that heats the moisture in food using microwaves. They were originally called radar ranges, radar in this case referring to electromagnetic waves. Microwave ovens were invented when a communications radar technician realized that EM waves could warm food. Research was done on the process after that, and in 1947 they were sold to the public in America. Microwave ovens use waves in the 2.45 gigahertz frequency range, with home units having an output between 500 to 1,000 watts, and commercial ovens between 1,500 and 2,000 watts. This frequency range is called the ISM band, and is the same one used by wireless internet. Nope, no idea, I'm clueless. What is a microwave? A weapon of mass destruction. He's not wrong. He's not wrong. The phone wave, name subject to change. God damn it. I can't believe we're still keeping this name subject to change. God damn you, Okabe. You absolute clown. God. Future gadget number 8. It was the gadget that had changed my fate. No. The fate of the world. It's subject to change. What's the matter? Maybe they'll name it something different. Maybe. You never know. Like Tim. Jesus.
どうして？それは破棄したんじゃなかったのか？
ええ、破棄したわ。これは私が新しく作り直したの。言ってみれば電話レンジ買いね。
The phone wave custom.
正しくはカッコ仮がつくんだった。なら電話レンジカッコ仮買いになる。
That's too long.
名前なんてどうだっていい。作り直したって。どうしてそんなことを？
過去にメールを送るためよ。メールを送って世界線を変えるの。
Shit.
うん。あんたにとっては戻すって言った方がいいのかもね。世界線を。これ完成したのはね、実は1ヶ月以上前なの。それからはひたすらここに立って送るべきか送らないでおくべきか悩み続けてた。それがまさかあんたの方から来るなんてね。
お前何を？
ねえ岡部、あんたついさっき別の世界線から来たでしょ。
Yeah. Yeah. Kurisu, she's attentive, if nothing else. She can notice. She can notice things like that.
それもベータ世界線から違う？
No, you're exactly right.
気づいてたのか。
そうでなきゃあんたがあんなことするはずないもの。
あんなこと？
だからあんな風に私を抱きしめたりとかそういうことよ。
Yeah. It was all so wonderful. The way her cheeks reddened in embarrassment as she looked away. The way she pursed her lips. The way she fiddled with the ends of her hair. Everything was just so wonderful. I realized it again. I was in love with her.
さらに言えばその世界線の変動は誰か別の人の手によるもので、あんたが好き好んで変動させたわけじゃない。当たってる？
すべてお見通しというわけか。
どれだけあんたのこと見てきたと思ってるのよ。ああ、いや違うからな。見てきたって別にそういう意味じゃなくて、あ、いや違わなくもないけど。
Oh. Oh man. Ah, God. She took a deep breath and looked up at me again.
あんたがベータ世界線から来たってことは、あんたは過去に一度その世界を選択したってことでしょ？
She was so far beyond what I could hope to be. In those brief moments, she'd discovered all that. She was right about everything. But even so, I couldn't let her know. Admitting that would mean admitting that I'd left her to die. There was no way I could do that.
すまない。
In the end, that was all I said. That was an admission, all the same. But instead of looking sad, she...
謝るなバカ。あんたが自分で決めたことでしょうが。だったら自分の選択に自信を持ちなさい。
She tried to cheer me up. That's right. Carissa was right. I was the one who'd chosen the Beta World line. But...
それにね、あんたは多分間違ってなかった。さっき来たばっかりのあんたは知らないだろうけど、この半年間、あんたはずっと自分を責めてた。そんな素振り、私には決して見せようとしなかったけど。
It was the same. It was the same as what I'd gone through. It was the same as the Beta World line.
でも、どうしてあげることもできなかった。だって、あんたの苦しみは私のせいだから。私を生かすために、あんたは苦しんでたんだから。でもね、それも今日で終わり。終わりにしなきゃいけないのよ。だってこのままじゃあんたはずっと罪の意識に苛まれて最後には押しつぶされちゃ
同じだ。
どういうこと？
どっちにしても結局俺はずっと後悔するんだ。マユリを救えなかったこと、お前を救えなかったこと、アルファ世界線にいてもベータ世界線にいてもそれは変わらない。
So maybe I should just stay here.
しっかりしなさい、岡部倫太郎。
クリス、
なんて顔してるのよ。あんたらしくない。私の好きな法王院京馬さんはもっと自信に満ちた顔してなきゃ。
I don't know why, but I immediately got you can hear it. Oh god. I immediately started tearing up as I saw the word love. I don't know what it is. Oh god. Oh god. Kyomahoin, huh? There was a name I hadn't heard in a long time.
あんたは正しい道を選択したの。マユリを助けるっていう選択を。それは決して間違ってない。
でも俺はお前を。
I hate that it's reversed. It bugs me. What do you mean? Oh, the name. Oh, the name. Yeah. It's weird.
いい？今あんたがここにいるのは、そうね、夢を見ているだけよ。
夢？
そう、夢の中であんたは私に会った。ただそれだけのこと。と？そう思えば少しは気も楽でしょ。
Karisu sighed a little and laughed.
これだけ脳の研究が進んでいるのに、 夢を見るメカニズムって実はまだ明確にはなっていないのよね。眠っている間に脳内では記憶の整理が行われている。その過程で発生するのが夢だっていう説もあるけど、要するにここはベータ世界線のあんたが迷い込んだ夢の中の世界。あんたの頭の中を整理するためにね。そしてこれが夢ならいつかは目を覚まさなきゃならない。そうでしょ。
でもこれは夢なんかじゃない。現にこうして。
I reached out and touched her cheek.
現にこうしてお前はここにいるじゃないか。
感触だって脳が感じさせている機能の一つよ。
She took a quick step back. The sensation of her cheek disappeared from my fingers.
だいたいここにいてもあんたは幸せにはなれない。ずっと後悔の念を拭うことはできないの。そしてそれは私も同じ。
ベータ世界線でも変わらない。俺はずっとお前を助けられなかったことを悔やみながら生きてきた。
だけど少なくともまゆりは幸せでいられるでしょ。
まゆりは
She doesn't know anything. Because that's what I wanted. Wanted her to know nothing and be happy. For now, that wish was still coming true, but...
あんたはまゆりに笑っててほしい、そう願ってる。私も同じなの。ということはやっぱりあんたの選択は間違ってはなかったってことよ。
I'd finally met her again, but... She was here, alive, right in front of me, but...
もう
She walked up to me without even trying to hide her frustration.
いい加減にしなさい、岡部倫太郎。一度出した結論でしょうが、あんたはここにいちゃいけないの。帰らなきゃいけない。夢から覚めなきゃいけないのよ。だってもうそうやって苦しむあんたを見ていたくないから。
クリス。
さあ、これ以上は時間の無駄よ。私はやるから。
She turned away from me. I could feel the strength of her will. Her resolve. I remembered what I'd seen just after I'd come to this world line. Krisu had just been standing there, in front of the phone wave. Thinking back, she probably already made her decision. Without anyone knowing. Without anyone to say goodbye to. She'd chosen to go to a world where she would no longer exist. It had probably taken her a long time, and a lot of struggle to come to that decision. She'd probably asked herself 1,000 times if it was really the right answer. If this was what she'd chosen after all that, I don't have the right to stop her. It'd be wrong.
ねえ岡部、夢から覚める前に一つ約束して。
約束？
ベータ世界線に行ったら私のことは忘れなさい。
That was just the opposite of what she'd said that day. That day, the day when I'd chosen the Beta World line, she'd said to me, "Don't forget me." Now she was asking for the opposite.
忘れるなんてそんなことできるわけないだろう。
She was always like that. She always cared more about others than herself. She always sacrificed herself. She was asking me this for my sake only. She didn't want to be forgotten. She hated being forgotten more than anyone else could.
言ったでしょ。これは夢よ。夢は普通起きたら忘れるもんでしょ。
She was stubborn and bullheaded. I'd never be able to forget her. But
子供の頃に見た悪夢は今でも覚えてるぞ。
誰が悪夢な。誰が。
it was all I could do to keep from breaking down. But that was probably the same for her.
とにかく私のことは忘れること。今日あったこともこれまであったことも。それが私の望みだから。
She turned around, stuck out her pinky finger. She forced it around mine.
指切り玄馬は嘘ついたら海馬に電極ぶっ刺す。指切った。
I can't do this, man.
随分と語呂が悪いな。
God.
ほっとけ。
Her hand moved away from mine. Her gaze looked away from me. It was almost time to say goodbye. She was sending a message to the past. I knew it was the right thing to do. I knew this was what she wanted. But still,
クリス、
our voices overlapped.
どうした？
あんたこそ何？
なんでもない。ただ呼んでみただけだ。
The name of the person I cared for.
偶然ね。私も同じ。
The name of the person I loved.
ねえ、あんたは覚えてる？私と初めて会った時のこと。
忘れられるわけがない。何しろ強烈だったからな。
それを言うならあんたの方こそ。
Fair enough.
ほんと、あの時はまさかこんな風になるなんて思ってもみなかったわ。まさかあんな出会いでこんなにも。
Lead to meeting someone so important to me. Not that I'd say it now.
まったくだな。
I couldn't say it, but
でも言っとくけど、私たちの出会いも覚えてていいのは今のうちだからな。
even for a little.
世界線が戻ったら忘れなきゃいけないんだからな。
Even just for a second.
わかってるよ。
Just for an instant.
そんなに簡単に忘れられるんだ。
If it would last just a little longer.
お前が言い出したことだろ。
Her voice.
そうだけど、そんな風にあっさり言われちゃうと、それはそれでムカつく。
The way she moved.
忘れろと言ったり、忘れるなと言ったり、一体どっちなんだ？
Her smile.
ターン。嘘よ、嘘。
なんだ、嘘なのか。
そう、嘘。
Just a little longer, so that I could remember it all. But I was out of time.
岡部。それじゃあ。
Those words were the sign that that the magic was over.
あ、
There were a million things I wanted to say, but I stopped myself. Kurisu smiled, satisfied, and turned back to the phone wave. She probably already had the message ready. The phone wave started to boom and crackle like thunder. There was a long, long countdown. The whole time, Kurisu faced away from me. And I just watched. The noise got louder. The countdown continued. And then, it was time.
岡部、いい、目覚めよ。
Kurisu turned around with a big smile on her face. Her voice was cut off by the roar. Just like that, we're back in beta, man. And then I woke up from my short dream. Color gradually returned to my blacked out vision. The lab started to come back into focus. I could tell immediately that the world line had changed. I could still see Kurisu when I closed my eyes. But she wasn't in the development room anymore. It was like the whole thing had been a daydream. I felt like I'd been caught in a boundary between dreaming and wakefulness. I was back. Back to a world without Kurisu. This wasn't the Alpha World line. There was no point in even bothering to check. A moment ago, only Kurisu and I had been in this room. And now, everyone was here.
おかり、どうしたの？具合悪い？
いや、大丈夫だ。
Mayuri.
お薬飲みますか？
平気だよ。心配ない。
Lukako. And
本当に？無理しちゃダメだよ。
Kagari Shina. If Mayuri and Kagari were here, that meant I was back to the Beta World line.
ちょっと腹が減っただけだ。朝から何も食べてなくてな。
もうオカリンさんたらダメだよ。ちゃんとご飯は食べなきゃ。ダルおじさんみたいに大きくなれないよ。
What? Is it just me, or does she seem awfully cheerful? Also, I don't think I missed that dig on Daru.
ああ、なるくらいなら一食抜いた方がマシだよ。
Huh?
だったらマユシーが何か作ってあげるよ。
Also, did she say Uncle Daru?
Eh? ママが作れるの？
Does she have her memories?
ああ、 かがりちゃんまでそういうこと言うんだから。これでもね、最近はユキさんにお料理教えてもらってるんだよ。
あ、じゃあ僕が手伝うから。
待ってくれ。
すみません。僕、手伝わない方がいいですか？
He may not have returned to the exact same world line he left. Small variation, maybe. That's what I'm thinking. I couldn't compare the numbers to before, though, is the thing. But I'm thinking that's what it is.
いや、そうじゃない。そうじゃないんだ。
I looked around at everyone and then back at Kagari.
かがりさん。
やだな、オカリンさん。私のことはかがりでいいって言ってるのに。
You caught them in the clips? Something was different.
じゃあ、かがり。さっき、まゆりのことをなんて呼んでたか聞いてもいいか？
なんてって、ママだよ。
どうして？
どうしても何も、ママはママだもん。ね、ママ。えへへ、やっぱりそう呼ばれるの、ちょっと照れちゃうな。
I felt vaguely dizzy watching Mayuri fidget in embarrassment.
知ってるのか？二人とも。未来の世界で親子だってことを。
かがりちゃんのことはオカリンが教えてくれたんだよ。
俺が？
本当のことを知っておいた方がいいってねえ。ねえ。
Did I really tell them? Did I tell them something so important?
じゃあ、もしかしてルカ子も？
ごめんなさい。僕、聞くつもりはなかったんですけど、耳に入ってしまって。
Lukako lowered his head in apology.
あ、でも大丈夫です。他の人には言ってませんし、それに僕ちょっとだけ嬉しかったんです。皆さんと秘密を共有できて。本当は直接教えてもらえればよかったんですけど。
Even Lukako knew about Mayuri and Kagari, which meant that, of course.
でも驚きました。タイムマシンとか未来とかお話の世界のものだって思ってたんですけど、実現できるなんて。
He knew about the time machine. Evidently, I hadn't simply come straight back from the Alpha world line. I was in a world line slightly different from the one I'd been in before. The divergence meter I'd used before was gone now. That meant I didn't have a precise number, but this all felt very different. The problem was finding out what was the same as the old world line and what was different.
かがり、もう少し質問させてほしい。
何？
I showered Kagari with questions in an effort to find out what was going on. Here's what I learned. First, Kagari retained her memories of her childhood, in other words, of the year 2036. She knew Mayuri, Daru, Suzuha, and also Ferris and Lukako. But as for what the world of 2036 was like, and how she'd become Mayuri's daughter, she hadn't told them the details about that. Fortunately, they hadn't seemed interested in knowing about their futures. Everyone always thinks they'd want to know what their future holds. But when the chance finally comes, fear outweighs your curiosity. The future wasn't always a happy thing. Knowing the future might destroy your dreams. It might be a death sentence, like it was for me. Some people would lose all sense of meaning in their lives if they knew there was inevitably going to be a war in which 5 billion people died.
それじゃあここに来たのはルカ子の家に居候したのがきっかけで間違いないな。
っていうかオカリンさんがママと引き合わせてくれたんだよ。覚えてないの？
いやそういうわけじゃないんだが一応確かめておこうと思ってな。
一応ね。変なオカリンさん。
Kagari going missing had happened almost exactly as I remembered it. The same was true of how she came to us. And...
行方不明になっていた間はどこで何をしていたのか全然覚えていないのか。
綺麗さっぱり。気づいたらお寺で寝かされてた。
Well, that's still kind of accurate. She was still missing some of her memories, too. In other words, in this world line, the only memories she had were of her childhood, and of the last few weeks since she'd woken up in the Chiba Mountains. The most important part was still missing. Was there anything else I needed to ask? I was staring at the floor, trying to think, when I realized that something was missing.
床が綺麗だ。
Huh?
あ、さっき岡部さんが来る前に掃除しておきました。
いやそうじゃなくて床に小さな穴が開いてたはずなんだが。
Oh.
床に穴ですか？
Oh, from when they attacked. The lab had been attacked just last night. During the attack, one of their bullets left a dark hole in the floor.
穴なんて開いてたかな？なかったと思うけど。
ちなみにお前たち昨日はどうだった？
昨日のパーティーのことすっごく楽しかったよ。あんなに楽しかったの私初めてだった。
So the party went off without a hitch? No one invaded? They wouldn't say that if there had been an attack. Which meant that the attack had never taken place. Was no one after Kagari in this world? I don't know if I'd say that so quickly. No, it was too early to assume that, yeah. I still didn't know what had happened and when she'd gone missing. Until I did, I couldn't say for sure if she was safe. Just like how sometimes Mayuri's death would occur on different days in the Alpha World line, the same thing might happen a few days later. In fact, it'd be better to be cautious.
またみんなでパーティーしたいね。
その時は僕も何か作るよ。
私も手伝う。
They all started happily talking about last night's party. At first glance, it was a peaceful scene. But something sinister might be happening, and I just didn't know it. No, I knew something had to be happening. The fact that the world line was changing was proof. Why had it changed anyway? I thought back to the events of that night. First, someone had taken over Amadeus. Kurisu had called me and asked me for help. The world line had changed right after I'd answered. 'Which meant that the key was... Amadeus?
私も
Did Amadeus have something to do with the world line change? And what about the group who'd attacked Kagari? Was it all connected? Maybe I needed to find out.
ところで係ちゃん、時間大丈夫？あ、いっけない。休憩時間終わってた。店長に怒られちゃう。
Oh, is she still working for Mr. Brown?
店長ということはバイトしてるのか？
そうだよ。下のブラウン管工房で。
Yep.
ってこの前言ったじゃん。
そうだったか。
In the old world line, Kagari had started working for Tennoji after the attack. That was another difference.
もう今日のオカリンさんはボケボケだね。しっかりしてよ。
すまない。
Kagari hopped up and skipped out of the room. Her words and mannerisms were much more childish than they'd been in the last world line. That was the first thing I noticed.
アルバイト頑張ってね。はーい、それじゃ行ってきまーす。
係戻る前にもう一つだけ聞かせてくれ。
I asked one final question to Kagari, who was now giving a crisp salute.
アマデウスという言葉を聞いて何か思い当たることはないか？
アマテウス？
Kagari seemed to think for a moment.
ごめん、わかんないや。
そうか。
She didn't look like she was lying or being sarcastic. She must really not have known. I watched her leave the lab and then took out my phone. There was another thing I needed to check. What was happening with Amadeus? Oh, it is no longer there. I looked for the icon on my screen. Amadeus. The AI that held Kurisu Makise's personality and memories. And the application which started the program. So whoever changed the world line wanted to get rid of Amadeus. I think we can assume that much. And the application which started the program. But the program was gone.
悪かったな。こんなところに呼び出して。
Alright. I'm gonna leave it there for now. Because it is getting about time and it is getting late for me. But things are getting interesting. And also, I just need a break after what happened with Kurisu. Man. I feel like such a big baby, but it still gets me like that, man. Anytime stuff like that happens. Let's raid... Yeah, let's raid Cheza. Let me type it in. Raid Cheza Okami. I think that's how you type it, right? Yes, I think, yeah. And then this is the greatest... Sorry. Bear raid of all time. And there is the raid message. Alright, we're about to go raid Cheza. Remember, you guys treat them with love and kindness, like we usually do. But yeah, I'll see you guys later. Wait, did Sab come in? But I'll see you guys later. I hope y'all have a good one, and yeah, bye-bye.